And we're on.
And we're on. That's fantastic. Okay, so you're going to call me out during the show if I forget that the camera's over there.
Yes, it's on the left side this time.
Okay, I'll remember that it's on the left side this time. All right, very cool. Hey, so everybody, welcome to our Hangout about selling online. I am Sean. Next to me is the wonderful Mary.
Hello.
I've always called you Marketing Mary.
Marketing Mary?
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's usually what we call. So I've known Mary for a really long time. Mary's actually here to keep me honest as we talk about e-commerce and things like that. I know some, not as much, but we'll be talking about lots of other things besides that. Colby, as always, say hello to the folks, Colby. Hello. Is here as well, and we have a studio audience here too. Yay! We've got Yonner. Do you want to stick your face in there and say hi? There you go. You're on there. And we've got Maxim with us as well. She may just wave. There we go. You've got like the cool.
The nifty thumb hole.
Yeah, the thumb holes in your sweatshirt. Yeah. That's very cool. We were talking about Thanksgiving and what we're doing and eating, and now I'm really hungry. Yeah. So let's try to not talk about food during.
It's kind of hard when you're talking about
I know. We're going to talk about food. We always do. All right. So here's what we're going to be talking about today. Selling online, 10 tips to fill holiday shopping carts. I'm just going to get rolling along here. So my name's Sean. This is the same slide I put up every single time. For those of you that haven't seen this before, massive, huge small business fan. Not only is that the best place to get food, I knew I was going to talk about food again.
All your analogies are food anyway.
I know. So. Like today, we're going to talk about T-shirts today.
Okay.
So maybe not food. I don't. We're probably going to talk about food. It's going to happen as we get going. Huge small business super fan, and the number one reason that we're all together and what we do at GoDaddy, but then also just I think personal philosophies. We really want to see small business owners be successful, and so that's why we're doing these things and putting them together. And I'll ask probably studio audience and other people their ideas about small business as we get going a little bit later. So to start things off, when I was in, oh man, how old was I? I had taken a break from college, to like go save the world, and lived in Eastern Europe for a little while. And there's a place in Krakow, Poland, called the Cloth Hall, something like that. It's in Krakow, like it's a big marketplace in Poland, and like a big bazaar. Do we have things like that here?
Like what, an open market?
Yeah, like a flea market. That's what.
Flea market.
It's kind of like
Los Angeles. You have to go to Los Angeles.
For a flea market, go to L.A.
Sure.
So go to.
Down in the Figueroa district.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing about it. Were the people behind, like in the stalls, like the people that were actually working back behind them, and that was the thing with in Poland. Like you'd walk in there, stalls everywhere. Lots of crowded people everywhere, and you could buy like this really great stuff. And this place is really famous. It's been here for a long, long time. And there was one guy in particular. This is Janusz. Janusz sells chess sets, and he sells dolls, and so it's all this really cool Polish, handcrafted stuff. Now the thing about Janusz, and I think it's probably the same in a lot of like flea markets or bazaars even here, is Janusz is the guy that basically, like, he's the reason that we ended up buying the stuff there. Like, as you would walk by, he would yell at you, he would say hello, he would talk to you about chess, he would talk to you about anything, and you really got to know Janusz, and to the point that he would remember your name if he saw you walk past again.
Nice.
Later on during the conversation. So he'd be walking by and be like, hey, food dad, right? And I'd be like, hey, no, I'm not ready to buy, but I'll be back soon. But the thing that he really got down, and I think a lot of people get down that is the crux when you start to get online, is being able to build a relationship with your customers. Because when you're dealing with the computer, it can be really impersonal. It can be, oh, okay, I got ones and zeros. How do you build a relationship with somebody that's visiting your e-commerce store? How do you build a relationship with somebody like that? So that's going to be one of the primary sort of foundations that we keep coming back to. We're going to keep talking about this as we talk about filling shopping carts and doing things like that. Because if they don't trust you, they don't believe in you, then they're not going to buy from you. I wonder if that's why a lot of people might hit even the larger marketplaces because there's like not necessarily a trust factor, but
I think there is, though. There's some credibility behind the larger marketplaces.
yeah, because if you sell like on Amazon or something like that, then a lot of people would be like, oh, well, it's Amazon. So
Well, and they know the refund policy, they know payment acceptance.
That's true.
There's some credibility behind it.
So you've got to be able to build then a site or a website or something like that brings some of that to the table as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking about myself. I think I even do that. Like if I see like a local bookstore or something like that, I'll, like online, it's like a guy selling books. I might be like, Amazon's always there, right?
I think that somehow it feels different to spend your money locally in a brick and mortar. You want to support the community, but then for some reason there's a drop-off when you go online. There's a security issue, trustability.
Yep.
You want to spend your money a little bit differently and feel that it's backed.
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. And so that's that'll be some of the stuff that we're talking about today as we go over the different tips. And then the second thing, another quick story. There's a local burrito place. I bet you guys have been there before. Burrito Express. Have you been there before?
Yes.
All right, that's a legit place. Did you used to go there all the time?
It's like right down the street from my house.
Yeah, okay. Burrito Express, great place. And for years, though, Burrito Express was cash only.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had like a small office, like a GoDaddy office nearby, Burrito Express, and everybody always wanted, like, you want breakfast burritos at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're like, oh, go to Burrito Express. Here's my card. They're like, oh, no, it's cash only. Like, we came up with some inventive ways to pull that off. Like, I think there were some employees that got PayPal installed, and they would swipe on their phone, take people's money, and then go buy. Right, it was like the burrito line of credit that was set up. So like the food was good enough, but I know that we bought a lot of burritos someplace else, only because that was like it was difficult at that time. It was difficult. You're like, holy cow, you're a really big burrito place. You don't accept
How long ago was
cards.
this?
2 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's recent.
Yeah, not like long ago. And I don't know why. Like there was probably hiccups, something that happened with them. But the point is with it is that you want to make business simple. Like you want to make it easy for them to do business with you, no matter what. So you've got these two foundations. So we're going to go over like that full top 10 list of everything. These are the two foundations that we're looking at, because if you make it then simple, like I know the case with Burrito Express, right? As soon as they made that simple, we went to Burrito Express all the time. Like we just kept going back. I was at Burrito Express 2 days ago with my buddy Noah. It's just because, yeah, we love that place.
Convenient.
And it's convenient and it's easy and it's a great place to go to get the stuff. Okay, so we need examples. Now the example I'm going to use today is a T-shirt company that only makes robot T-shirts. I think that's cool, right?
It's cool.
I gotta say, you use this
Looking
slide
ahead a
every
little.
show, and this is the first time you've actually tied it in to what you're talking about.
No,
Yes.
no, I talk about Google being like the giant creepy robot in the
Okay,
sky.
all right, I'll give
Yeah.
you that one.
Yeah, I do use it, I think, in all my decks, though. I love this picture. It's a creepy picture.
He's not wearing a T-shirt.
No. I didn't say I was going to make T-shirts for robots. No, I like T-shirts with robots on them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Robots.
Wait, did I say I was making T-shirts for robots?
You might
No.
like it.
No.
I
Oh.
misheard.
That would be cool, too.
Yeah, although I thought that was more awesome.
Niche
Okay.
market right there.
Niche market right there. Because we have our buddy Isaac dressed up like a stormtrooper on the weekends.
I feel like you could totally sell those in Sky Mall.
I think that's a great idea.
There you go.
He could be the model.
Yeah.
T-shirts
Next
for
time he goes to Comic-Con,
robots.
you guys have a stand.
Oh man, what would be on it? Like I don't know what you.
A human?
Thank you. Thank you.
You
Off
put a
camera.
human.
Sean's face.
Sean's face. That's what we're gonna do. So that's my idea. We're gonna call it TikTok Tees. This is my little hipster logo that we're gonna use for the T-shirts. Now, other examples, because this is good as we get talking about these different things. What are your examples that we might be able to use as we go? What would you sell, Colby? Like if you sold stuff online, started your own store, what do you think you would sell?
I have no idea.
Nothing? I think you would sell tubes, man.
Yeah. you
Yeah,
think
the
so?
hat that you got on today is pretty
This is
legit.
from Athletes Brands, one of the big league contestants.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't want to
other
go into
SEO.
competition
No.
with them.
I'd probably sell my paintings. I paint. So.
Do you paint?
I do, yeah.
That's very cool. Mary, what would you sell?
100% dog apparel, beds, organic treats.
Wait, made of like dog or for dog?
For dogs.
Oh, okay, good.
See, there's
No,
that.
that's what I was doing. You can't talk about the robot stuff like that.
No, I have a little Chihuahua that's a diva, and I make her lots of little dog clothes and beds.
So tracking costumes for dogs this year. So costumes for pets,
all-time high.
huge this year.
Awesome.
Huge. That's really great. So costumes for pets. Anybody from studio audience? What would you guys sell?
You know, I've always thought that I would sell nothing but very spicy hot sauces.
Oh, spicy hot.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw a
That's
store. Yeah, I saw a store that's all that they sell.
Yeah.
So that's okay. Cool.
The Tangy Tongue.
Like
I own the domain
the
name.
Tangy
I did.
Tongue.
The Tangy Tongue.
You
got
owned
that
that
domain
domain
and
name?
I either own it and or did own it, depending on where I'm at. in
I
my
can tell that
building.
you're very serious about this business idea.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
business ideas come and go. Right?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, the Tangy Tongue. That's awesome. Maxim, anything from you?
Not really. I don't have a lot of crafts that I do on the side, but if we're gonna go down the domain route, I own MaximMagazine.com, and I would love to turn that into a store.
MaximMagazine.com.
I have no idea what I would sell on it.
You would sell magazines.
Possibly.
Maxim Magazine.
Make
Very.
your own Max.
That's
Max
true.
Magazine.
Yeah. You'd be like, it's my name.
I was born first.
Yeah.
Natural
So
rights.
those are the ones. Those will be some of the examples that we'll go with. And listen, as we go over the different examples, these are also things that work even if you're not selling online. So if you don't have an online store, you just have a brick and mortar, and you want to use these same tactics, they'll totally work as we go through the different ones today. All right, so our 10 tips. Let's start off with tip number 1. Write remarkable descriptions. This, I think, ties into the building trust, being authentic. This is where you have an opportunity, I think, to stand out from the big marketplaces.
Being unique,
Yeah.
branding yourself.
Anybody follow Woot?
Yeah.
You ever buy anything off
sure.
of Woot? Have you read their descriptions?
Yes.
Holy cow, they're long. But I'll read all the. Have you seen them before?
No. I'm gonna have to
Oh,
check it
they're
out.
just creative. They're wonderful descriptions.
Nice.
They're long. There's small stories that get put into it.
But it's very engaging.
But it's very engaging. Like, they do a really great job. Meaning, I can just see what the actual item is. I can read a really brief description of what it is, and then they've got like the long stuff, right, that you could take with it. So a couple of examples. One of them, a really short one. Our men's TikTok tee is crafted with 100% cotton fiber. There's a robot on the front. Fits great. Obviously, typo in this particular one.
Whoops.
But something that I see all the time. Like, I see people that use the numbers for words. Listen, these things will hurt you from an SEO perspective, and I'm not sure if it's enough to give to your customers. So we've talked about this in past webinars, but the headline and the description are really, really smart when writing these up. Most of the programs out there, including online store, GoDaddy Online Store, allow you to do this. So you're going to want to actually name it. This is the Bulby Bot TikTok tee. See, these are cool, right?
I totally get it now.
Yeah, now you get it. Let your geek star shine with our most popular original design. Ultra comfortable, and then this is the full description so that they understand what it is. 100% organic cotton t-shirt. Black, white, red, green, yellow, one for every mood. Pre-shrunk for a perfect fit every time. So, listen, when you put together the descriptions, I mean, probably the biggest thing to suggest here is that you give it some time, that you work through the descriptions for your products, and that you're not just straight out blatant, but think about what the customers might be looking for on it.
And spell check.
And spell check. Did I misspell on this one too?
No,
Oh.
but it's just the simplest thing that
It totally
a
is.
merchant can do before they hit publish.
I totally agree.
I like the little humor in the descriptions I see online
Mhm.
too.
I I love them in there. Well, and this is where I see that more with unique small businesses because they can. Like, they can put some love into it. Like, if somebody's selling, well, even in my case, so if I run with this idea, build these robot t-shirts, I'm probably going to have a dozen at most that I kind of cycle through, and maybe every once in a while I add another one, so I can kind of give love to that, right? I can have the unique landing pages.
Yep.
I can have some of those descriptions. I can put other things on there to make it worthwhile for them. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have the ability to care as much about your website as you do the products that you're
right.
selling.
No, I think that's totally true. As soon as you get into like heavy volume, tons and tons of products, that can still be a challenge. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But somebody that's, I think, a small business owner that's 1 to 5 employees probably doesn't have too much. Like they can focus on
I like what
how
you
those
said
things
too,
will work.
caring about your website as much as your products. When you're a small business selling online, your website is your product to a
Absolutely.
certain degree. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, cool. Okay, there's number 1. Write remarkable descriptions. Number 2, create high quality images. This freaks people out who say that because they're like, I don't have that camera.
Photoshop.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, I got to get photo editing software. Okay, first you don't. Listen, your phone most likely takes remarkable images. The things that you need to worry about mostly with that is light, and then just setting when you go to set it up. And in a lot of cases, you can take advantage of images online that are inexpensive, that are royalty free, to at least template out what you want to set.
Good idea.
Yeah. And the decisions it's interesting making the decisions with apparel. I've talked to some people that say, I always want there to be a model wearing my shirts because there's like a lifestyle brand associated with it. So if you were to go someplace like Threadless, you're always going to see people wearing the shirts, right, as they go through. And then there's others that say they do the head cutoff right at the top because it's like selling a home, where they're like, I just want you to see kind of what it looks like.
There's a real person.
Yeah. Like, this is totally lived in. Look. Listen, it's up to you, but just make sure that the images are high quality, that they're of at least on the width over 800 pixels, because then when you go to share these on Facebook, on Twitter, and other places, you want to make sure that they display really, really, really great. By the way, just make sure you always have images. I find myself even in like used marketplaces, so like if you hit Craigslist or eBay or places like that, I still see stuff on there with no images. Like somebody will go on there and say, "This is a really great car. You're gonna love it." I'm like,
yeah.
There's no picture.
And I mean, if you think about it on eBay, I know when I'm shopping on there, I mean, I filter out no images.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
just
even
turn
going
it
to
off.
search for it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think also a good rule of thumb for your images is think about what would look best on Pinterest, because you want people to pin your images.
That's
It's
true.
great for SEO link backs. So think about what people will want to pin.
That's totally true. Which is interesting because then I would even debate the images instead of going the landscape. I would start to debate going portrait if they're going to show up on Pinterest
I agree
like that,
for
right?
product images.
Yeah. Because on Pinterest, yeah, you have like the long columns all the way through, right? I am on Pinterest. I feel like I have to like admit that whenever I'm like in a group of people for some reason. I think it's a dude thing.
Yeah.
Are you on Pinterest?
I am.
You are?
Yeah.
All right, we got to follow each other on
There's lots
Pinterest.
of cool art
All
on
right,
there.
very cool. So make sure that you make sure you have the high quality images for it. That's number 2. Hey, do you guys like these little cards? This is like my homage to Wes Anderson, like kind of look and feel, like center the text and make. Never mind. Okay.
I get the Wes Anderson.
Yeah, you get it, right? You center it and throw like little mustache-looking things on the top and
Right.
bottom. Yeah, I don't remember.
Feels
what
a
those
little
are called.
country.
Feels a little country.
It's cool.
I was going for rock and roll.
Wait, which Wes Anderson are we talking about?
All right, number 3, make product videos. Same thing, you can use your phone. In a lot of cases, if you do have an SLR, you could use that to record your videos. Listen, that little triangle and the circle around it, we're addicted to it. Like, I know I am. Like, we're like moths to the flame. When we see that, we want to click on it. Like, just to see what's going to happen, right? Like, oh, wow, look, there's a product video. They just started doing videos in the App Store, Apple's App Store on your phone.
Really?
Like, for a while, you would just see screenshots of the apps. And now the first one, in a lot of cases, it's a
I
video.
haven't come across the video.
So you open it up, you see it, you're like, oh, I'm totally gonna.
That's
I'm
awesome
totally gonna
because you
watch
see
it.
the demo of it.
I know.
Yeah.
You like totally click on it.
It's a lot better than screenshots for sure. When it comes to that.
It is like, and even if it's so, in the case of like the T-shirts, if it's a lifestyle brand, if it's something I'm doing, I want to show those things. We met a guy last week that does he does custom mods to Jeeps, so just totally tricks out, makes these really big off-road Jeeps. His videos are what sell the Jeeps, right? If he just showed the pictures of it, they're like, well, that's pretty. No. He goes out and he shows you
360
right,
and all that.
and then he shows you what it's capable of. He shows the tires inflating and deflating. Like he can. That's where video comes into play with this. And I think in his case, same thing. You could do it with your phone. Then later on, you could actually then take that and swap it out for something that's a little bit higher quality. Just don't overthink it. Like use it. That's totally useful for putting things together. It's one of the reasons that we do video, doing these. Like we could just do audio. It's a little bit more engaging, and then plus we get the little circle with the triangle in it, which is really, really cool. The stats are really impressive on this, and I think it's actually higher than this now from the last time that we pulled this. 60% of customers who find them watch them. Now, I can't get a 60% click rate, meaning if I just put a link on my website, I can't get 60% of people to click on that. But if I put a video on there, 60% of the people that come to that website will click and watch the video.
And another mention about SEO is videos are great as well, because with the images on Pinterest, you can put your videos out on YouTube, link them back, so you're saturated throughout the web.
Only makes it better. Yeah, all the way through. Now, how hard is it? Now, this is something I actually don't know, so I'm deferring to you on this. How hard is it to put video into like some of the store platforms that are out there?
Much of the time, it's going to be embedding a YouTube link.
You just embed the YouTube link. Yeah, which is a piece of cake.
Yeah, piece of cake. You
Right.
don't have to upload an image or format or anything like that.
Yeah, you almost just copy. Like YouTube even provides the
Yeah,
code,
you literally
right?
copy and paste.
You copy paste the code over. And that's always been my recommendation. Sometimes customers will say, "Hey, how do I host and put my own video on my website?"
No.
Go
Let YouTube do that
go
for
the
you.
YouTube
Yeah.
route. Yeah, they've got all the servers and everything that will make that possible. All right, sweet, very cool. All right, that's our number 3. Number 4, solicit and publish reviews. Now I have to be careful when I say solicit here, which isn't, "Hey, write me a good review and I'll give you free pizza." Like, don't do that. But ask for reviews. So when you do business with your customers, send them surveys, ask them how the service was, and then solicit those reviews from there. We could talk for a long time about reviews and just the way that the market is shaped. I wish I could remember the book that I was reading where it basically said that there's been this shift from the seller beware that we kind of grew up with, or buyer beware. So he kept saying like buyer beware, you're not sure what you're going to get. Where it's flipped and now it's seller beware, meaning like if you don't get the good reviews, if people don't talk great about your product, or you just don't have reviews at all,
Right.
We just trust it less. And this is where that credibility factor can come
Absolutely.
in really, really strong on your website, on your store, in the marketplace that you're in, making sure that you have reviews in there. Do you judge what you buy based
I
off
do,
of the reviews?
absolutely, especially on Amazon. I will say it's tough for buyers right now because you hear all of the hype in the press and stuff that something like 80% of reviews aren't legit and that all these merchants are paying. But at the end of the day, that's pretty much the only thing you have to go on that comes from another customer. So you have to try to trust and take things at face value. And I feel like I'm savvy enough anymore when I can read a review, I can be like, that looks a little staged. So I'm starting to learn how to filter through them. But when you go on a smaller micro business e-commerce site and you see reviews, it also makes me feel like that merchant really cares. They're not just selling a product, shipping it, and then no more relationship building. I mean, they took the effort to send an email or reach out to see that their customers are happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like they are going to be more legit on the smaller sites because the small businesses, they're not operating on the same size that Amazon is.
Right. Well, and then it also even shows then the customer base or the people that you're going after. So putting together the T-shirt company or the robot tees, or the fancy
apparel.
the fancy high-end pet apparel. I could see the same thing happening, right? Because if the reviews coming in are ones that then the other shoppers that come to the website they identify with, because I can see myself coming in there. I have a Great Dane, And so I'm never putting clothes on that great day
Oh.
because it will look like a human being. It'll look like a horse. Yeah, look, I dressed up my horse. But like if I went to a website like that, I think you would feel like the flavor of how like what it is based off of the reviews too that come in on it. That reminds me of an interesting thing I just saw. You guys hear about this? The post office now will put a scanner like code on the label, the mail label. So when you ship things using UPS or USPS, it's one of the two.
USPS if it's the post
I think it's
office.
USPS. When you ship things, you can then scan it with your phone once it shows up, and you can have a custom message, like pre-recorded. So you could send a gift. Like if I want to send a gift to my mom, I could have a pre-recorded video hosted by the post office, so she could scan then the stamp area, and then it will play it'll play my message. And it got me thinking, like, small business owners could totally take advantage of this for asking for reviews or just saying thanks.
Yeah.
Or just Easter eggs. Because how many people are going to look at it, right? Not that many people, but then if they do scan
your lucky
it,
day, 30% off your next order.
Exactly, right? Or if your brand's different, hey, your lucky day, here's me singing Journey karaoke.
30% off karaoke.
Listen, they could come back. Maybe there's both. Maybe it's a Journey cover about 30% off. No, but really, really cool idea.
That's really interesting.
That I've seen out there. That's actually an idea that you could have done without using the post office, just putting that code somewhere on the box, and then let the word get out about it, right, as they come through. So those were, I think, where some of the cool reviews come in as well with that stuff. All right, so solicit published reviews. Number 5, this one's going to scare people. Interact daily on social media. This goes to credibility again. So establishing that you are who you say you are, that you're relevant, that you're credible. It's just really easy for somebody to see you on Facebook, on Twitter. I'm going to keep plugging Twitter, especially on Twitter. They get to see who you are, that you're in business.
I love it when I come across a business that just has like the brand across everything, right? Like I know I can go to Twitter, I can find their handle there. They've got a Facebook page. It just feels so professional. Like they've really made a legit brand out of themselves. Which
gets back to the making sure that not only, so when you say across the board, which I love as well, making sure that you have your own store, like your own storefront or your own website, right? Like something that's not just in social media, not just on Amazon.
Right. Not just a rogue Facebook page.
Right.
Where to go from there.
Yeah. Well, because we trust it. That's the case. I know a lot of people have talked about this recently with restaurants. Where if I recommend Burrito Express and you pull it up on Yelp and you see, oh, there it is, if there's not a website,
I hate that.
Then you're like, maybe they're closed. Like maybe they're not there.
I want to see the menu.
Yeah, you want to see what you're getting into. And so across the board. Now, interacting daily on social media, it does freak people out because they think, okay, should I hire somebody? Am I totally capable of doing this? I'm very, very, very busy.
Yep.
Like I forgot to even get on my pajamas today, right, because of everything that I'm doing for my business. I don't think it needs to be that difficult. And the thing that I recommend from a social media perspective is to create a very, very simple social media calendar, so that you know, and not one where everything changes drastically week over week or month over month, but you just know in general on certain days of the week what you're going to do. So my recommendation, like with this particular one, I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, taking Sunday off. You can take Monday off. Just recommend that you don't do it all the time. And then in this example, right, Monday, share industry stuff. So if we were doing the robot TikTok tees type of thing, or if we're doing the high-end pet dress-up clothes, I'm going to keep changing what it is as we go.
Let's make it fun.
the princess pet workshop fluffy thing.
Don't make me show pictures.
I know. But if you were to do something like that, then you would talk about that as an industry. You would talk about maybe even things that you don't sell, but you just saw this really crazy getup that another dog was wearing. Right. Things like that as you go through. Also on the Monday, I've got Ask a Weekly Question. This is an easy way to engage people. Tuesday, ask close friends for help. So reaching out to people that you already know, asking them to retweet, or just mentioning them, calling them out, telling them great things.
Pin my images.
Pin my image. Yeah, all of these things are great. And listen, you don't need to have 4 things on each one. Even all the way down on Friday, I've got this, write a blog post or vending machine. These are just a lot of different ideas. And I know people love this slide for ideas. And we have another webinar that we do where we talk about social media. The main point is keep engaged. Like keep at it.
So
Don't
Sean,
stop.
let me ask you a question because you're a writer.
Uh-oh.
You're a writer by heart.
Yeah.
So whenever I talk to small businesses, they get it and they want to do it, but sometimes they get stumped on coming up with content.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice of how they can get going with content, some resources that can kind of spin their wheels to...
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to steal everything. Yeah. No, it's like not literally. Listen, the number one piece of advice, and the one that's worked the best with small business owners, working with them that are freaked out about this, is that when you jump onto social media or you're looking at other blogs and things like that, use it as a framework or template for ideas. And this is actually what all writers do. Everybody does. Like when you look at a movie and the way that like if I watched the latest Transformers movie, not a particularly great film, but it follows the exact same pattern as, say, Star Wars, or as like these old hero
So
sagas
these merchants
and
could
like
go find an industry-related article and
Yep.
kind of use it as a framework, recraft it to be their own,
Yeah,
relate it
because
back to their own
You're
business.
going to have your own opinion about it, right? So if we go all the way back to Janusz, who's selling the chess sets and the chess pieces, he may see that somebody else that is even in the same bazaar, even in the same flea market, right, is online, is writing about chess, is writing about how there's a certain type of wood that you should use in order to craft these. Janusz has an opinion about that, and he could totally write about that, link over to the other person's blog post,
I was
and
going
then
to
go
say,
from there, right?
I've recently seen that strategy too, where you just link back off of somebody else's post and add your own
Yep.
layer to it of your
Yeah.
personal opinion.
Well,
So you can actually just reshare other people's published
Just
work.
reshare their other stuff. Just make sure you tell them where it came from,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And that totally is helpful. And then in the case of Twitter, Facebook, and things like that, same thing. Like go online and look at what other people are doing, and it will give you ideas. Like you don't want to, when I say steal, you don't take verbatim. Like don't take exactly what they're putting together, but it is going to give you great ideas. There was a painter, so this would be your store setup, a painter that I met in Florida, who he was I think I talked about him last time. He was a watercolorist during Vietnam.
I think you did mention this one.
That's
yeah.
cool. And I still am flabbergasted by that he would that he'd be on the battlefield and he would paint the battle in watercolor for historical purposes, like
Oh
so
my
that we could
God.
see them later. But now he's a professional watercolorist. He does watercolor in Florida, and we talked about it. He said, I have no idea what to write about, and I have no idea who to follow. And Twitter scares me to death. So what we did was we went on there, we did a search on Twitter for tags and for geolocations.
Mhm.
We found a whole bunch of people in Florida that were artists that specialized in
You
watercolor.
could start engaging with.
He could see what they were doing, and I told him, you don't need to say anything for 6 months if you don't want to.
Mhm.
Just look, and it will give you some of the ideas on what you could write
That's
about
a really good idea.
or what you could post. And then as you publish these things, it just establishes that credibility. Now, one important piece of advice on this, if you notice on every single day that I had on there, I have respond. So social media really works well, and that daily interaction, if it's interaction, like not just publishing. So if somebody goes on there and says, hey, this is really great, you did a fantastic job, I love what you're doing, respond. If somebody goes on there and says, hey, I don't think this is the right way to go, respond. Like, just respond. It's got to be a back and forth. And the people that I find, even naturally, they don't even think of themselves as social media experts, but are fantastic at it, it's because they're always responding. Like, they keep responding. It's almost like the like that back and forth competition with email, where you want to be the last person to like respond in it,
Mhm.
where they're like, well, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you, right? And you send it back and forth.
We call that last wording. in my
Last,
house.
so that you want a last word, yeah, last wording.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, really.
That reminds me of John Lovitz for some reason. Now, acting, brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. All right, very cool. All right, we better get cruising. We're gonna make sure we get it. Very cool. Okay, interact daily on social media. Number 5. Number 6, bundle products and services. This is a trick that a lot of people have noticed already because other retailers, other services do it. It's very, very simple. Hey, listen, if you could get this shirt and you could get this shirt right here, 2 for 1. So this is a great way to incentivize and then also to build your brand so people get it out there. This is ingrained so much. No lie, right before this Hangout, I was looking for batteries for my mouse. So I went over to security, and he said, I bet you need 2 of these, don't you? Well, we've got a deal for you today, right? It's just something that we're used to and we like seeing. So a great tip that we put on there as well. Again, I don't know. Like, I wish I knew more about how easy software makes this, doing like a 2 for 1 type of setup.
Well, specifically I'm most familiar with our GoDaddy online store product,
Yeah.
and I know that you can definitely add sale items. So if you had a retail price, but you wanted to say have 2 products, slash it out. You
Yep.
know, if something's $25.99, you sell them both for $15.99.
Just
you could
put
do
them
things
together.
like that.
Yep. Very cool. All right, next one that we have coming up, cross-sell the smart way. Listen, in order to do this, so cross-selling would be the smart way. You know who's really good at this is, well, Amazon, some of the big players. But the way that they do it, the data that they use to do it, is available to everybody. Like the concepts and the way that they do it is available to everybody. Now, in order to do it, you want to make sure that you're tracking what's selling well, and you want to make sure you're tracking what's selling with other items.
Right.
So taking a look at those 2 things. And you could do that with the software itself, and then take that, throw that into a spreadsheet, analyze it. You could do it with something like Google Analytics, where you can actually see what's going through and see what's getting tied to it. When we say do it the smart way, it's that it's not always a, hey, do you want fries with that? Or, listen, we have way too many of these over here, so let's start cross-selling this other item that we want to try to get rid of. It should be the, listen, we know from experience that our customers that buy this, buy this. And so you're able to look and see that stuff happen. And listen, on a small scale, it's not so creepy. It does get creepy on a larger scale.
Well, and I think on Amazon too, as much as you love it, it's very contrived, right? Because you know they're money grabbing, right?
Right.
So again, it feels more friendly and as if you're really trying to pair the right products for the buyer.
Right. Well, and as that happens, sometimes you're surprised when you see what the results are that come in anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So as they come in, you're like, I have no idea why everybody's buying like the chewing gum after they buy this shirt, but they must like it,
yeah.
So I'm going to offer the chewing gum along with it. Or, hey, for some reason, people that buy this love this over here. So making sure that you measure, making sure that you look at those things, so then you could sell those along with it or make the recommendations along with it. All right, live chat. This is a recommendation, actually, from a few people last year when we were going through this, and I was surprised by it.
Wow.
I was like, so you want to implement
All
live
in.
chat? This is where I think the recommendation from, it was some of the product owners that we have for online store here at GoDaddy that build that. They were saying, and what they were seeing trending, was that interpersonal connection, it's live at that point. Like, you know that there's somebody on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't contrive that. I think people have tried to, like, make really smart robots, right, so they can interact with you. But in these cases, like, they're live, like, back and forth with you at that point in time.
And I think for the small business where that is their livelihood, they don't want to miss a sale, right? So
Right.
if somebody just has a simple question about shipping, they would rather be there to just answer it
Yep.
versus lose that sale.
Right, and then you could still do the email back and forth, just making sure that the phone call.
But
like,
again,
the
think
number is
about
there.
it when you're buying a T-shirt off of a small site. If you think twice about it once, you're done.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'll even engage, so when that little pop-up comes up, like the proactive chat.
Mm-hmm.
So not the reactive, hey, we're here just in case. The proactive one, it's like, hey, I'm
expert on standby.
right. I'm your expert on Oh, that's right. Maxim, our studio audience, has worked in chat. So it's really, really great because you see the person's name, and they follow up with you and they say, hey, I'm Maxim. Do you have any questions? And then listen, I do it. I even do it at GoDaddy, even though I know the person on the other end. Hey, what's going on?
That actually makes your business look a little bit bigger too, because if you think about that, like one person selling T-shirts, they're like that one person can't be on chat too.
Yeah.
So you're kind of making yourself look a little bit bigger online.
Well, and then the software is easy to use. There's lots of software out there that will interact that you can tie to your website, and the really great thing about it is then you can also have hours on there. We've even done that before as well.
Absolutely.
So sometimes it pops up and sometimes it doesn't when it comes on. Do you engage with chat like when you run into it online?
Not very often, actually.
No. You're antisocial.
I guess so.
No.
In a weird way.
I'm trying to think the last time.
Some social media people really are antisocial. They don't have to be social to be in social.
Yeah.
It's true. Just saying.
Antisocial social media. No, I know that I know I do that a lot. So the great thing with this, again, establishing the credibility, building the trust with them, and making the business of business really, really easy, really, really simple for them. Okay, moving on to the next one. Let's go. Offer free shipping. Yeah, I almost want to recommend this for everybody.
Yeah, everybody always.
Like just like.
I mean, do your margins. Make sure that you are covering what you need to. But free shipping, and there are stats behind it, which I don't have offhand. But your XYZ so much more likely to purchase when free shipping's there.
Yeah, I think that
even if it's hidden into the cost of the product a little bit, you just don't make the correlation when you're shopping.
I don't like. I just see free shipping
because you get angry when you see $9.99 when you land in the car.
So I can say, and I think this is probably the case for a lot of people. My shift, certainly, because I want to support small businesses more. So local places, go after that T-shirt place, the places on Etsy that have built out their own sites and things like that. That's where I want to spend my money. And the biggest sort of subconscious drive towards that has been free shipping for me.
Really?
Well, because on Amazon for so long, you get Amazon Prime, you've been this big marketplace, everything's free all the time.
You're accustomed to not paying shipping.
Right, so you're all the time, you're like, oh, I want my drone, right? You're just constantly moving in that direction. And so as soon as I shift and say, okay, I'm not going to buy my running shoes on Amazon. I'm going to buy them from the local running store, and I'm going to buy them online. As soon as I go to their site and I see that it's like $19.99 to ship them to me, I'm like, because I'd be okay paying the $19.99 in the price and then having them shipped to me. I'd be totally cool with that. And so free shipping is really, really, it's really great. I think that you need to seriously consider that when looking at the stuff that you sell. And like you said, you could roll it into the cost, but play with your margins so that you can get that out there.
Challenge anyone to try it. You can baseline it, right? So you can do your normal shipping methods for a month and just do free shipping for the month after and just see how your volume of product changes.
Very cool. All right, we are on number 10. We made it. How much time do we have left?
We got like 12 minutes.
All right, I knew there would be a lot, so
under the gun.
We go all the way through. Number 10, accept credit cards. This is a common story, I think, of somebody that's just getting started. So they're just going to sell. This is the direction I would go. Selling TikTok tees, I would probably get the website up and running, and the first couple of tees that I would sell, I would stick with PayPal.
Yep.
And I wouldn't stick with the full PayPal because you can accept credit cards with PayPal as well.
You can.
But I'd probably just go straight up PayPal route just to get started because it's easy to do to get it up and running. But eventually, I'm going to want to accept credit cards, and this is where probably the number one make the business of doing business easy. You know what's interesting? I talked to somebody recently that not only do they not accept credit cards, their store is a YouTube channel, and the only way to buy things from them is to contact them on the email address that's on their YouTube account.
No, thank you.
Sketchy.
Isn't that crazy?
And I bet it's out of Gmail.
What? Yeah,
It's yeah.
info2468@gmail.com.
I was totally. I'm like, are you making money? And like a little. I'm like,
I wonder why.
yeah, like move on. Make it easier to do. Now there's been a lot of stuff in the news about the risk, about merchants. Target ran into some issues. Other people ran into issues. Some people want to pay cash only. Listen, there are ways around that. I would put that on the consumer, like going a PayPal route where they could still pay with PayPal, or they could pay with credit card. Just give them the
I'm
options.
a proponent of offering both if you can.
Right.
And also, if you think about it, are the hackers going after your robot T-shirts, or are they going after Target?
I know this is security through obscurity. Listen, I think that's true. The thing is, like, I know with online store, and even other tools that are out there, but specifically with online store, like we've partnered with a really great payment processing.
Yes.
Gateway with the Stripe.
Stripe.
Is what we're using. That we trust, and you go after somebody that's their bread and butter. That's what they do. They know how to do that. They're not making it up.
Yeah,
right?
They're awesome, and they actually have direct phone, email, chat support as well, so that you don't necessarily have to go back to GoDaddy or whoever your hoster is. You can actually start working with them and building your payment processing relationship, because it is serious business, and you want to work with somebody that you know is taking care of you. So they are an awesome company to work with.
Yeah, I think it would be really difficult, and I don't know how you make it work, to have kind of that equivalent of a cash-only business online. So like you've got to figure out a way to make this.
I mean, we have some merchants that are asking for COD and local delivery and that type of stuff, but again, they're only looking for it as a supplementary option.
Yep.
They still want to be able to process a credit card.
So they're just trying to help out the consumer. So if the customer's
more options.
Yeah. So if they're like my crazy uncle, right, that wears the tin hat, he's like, oh, okay, I totally want
Drive
this.
that down the road to me.
That's
I'm only
where
5 miles away.
That's right. Yeah. We give them options.
Yep.
That's I think ties in even to the recent renaissance with food trucks. And I think part of the reason that's happening is because it's not a cash-only business anymore.
Totally agree.
You got a lot of options. You got like Square, and kind of like just on-site card readers that people.
Yeah, even PayPal has the card reader, the triangle.
The dongle.
Get it? The triangle. Is it called the dongle?
It's called the dongle.
Oh, it's called the dongle. If we got that wrong, PayPal, we love you, and I'm sorry. I just like that it's shaped like a triangle. It's the funniest thing ever, right? Like, so here's a square, and here's an octagon.
Well, when you guys call a business, do you even think to ask if they take credit cards anymore?
No.
You just assume it. Right?
You just assume.
I go to farmers markets and stuff assuming that I'll be able to use my credit card.
Yep, same thing. So you just walk up and grab it.
Flea markets, to your point.
Flea markets. Yeah, so now I can get fantastic waffles at a food truck. There's a wonderful food truck here. Sorry.
We're getting better
Look,
with food trucks
food,
here.
right? I know. Now we're getting high end. I think I actually bought, so last year in New York City, bought my first pretzel on the street using my card. I felt kind of dumb because it was like $1.50 and just showed I was really lazy and didn't go to the ATM. But it worked.
But they took it.
But they took it. So I think that's fantastic as well.
50 minutes in, food.
Food.
That's a good record.
50 minutes. And then we talked about waffles. Dang it. At least it's not pancakes. That's a problem, too. So to make that happen, one thing, just recommendation-wise, depending on what you're using, online store makes it quick, very, very easy. But you're going to want to make sure that your customer's data is secure, whoever you use, and that you have a merchant account to make that happen. All right, look at that. All the cards laid out. Top 10, and it's kind of one of those quick and dirty situations for us where we just have to roll through as many as possible, and weren't able to spend too much time with all of them, but we want to just give you a lot of ideas all the way through. Now, here's one other recommendation. This is something I keep coming back to every webinar that we do. Don't think that you have to do all 10 of these tomorrow. So pick one and then move forward with that. So chances are good, right? If you have an online store or if you're selling things online, chances are good in a lot of cases you're already accepting credit cards, but you're not doing social media. So start to play with social media. Again, don't overthink that either. Like, don't think, okay, I got to hire somebody. Just get your account set up and start watching, and then move on. Or solicit and publish reviews. Just play with that for a quarter, for 3 months, and learn and grow from that as you move. So this isn't a, hey, you must do these 10 things no matter what. Take one, start small, get good, and then go bigger. All right, cool. So build a relationship, make business simple, and hopefully you can kind of give everybody that same impression of being at the face-to-face at the flea market or someplace else. I know there's a lot of brands that have actually done that, even for me, where I feel like I know them, and I don't know anybody that works there. but they've been able to establish that type of a relationship with me as well. All right, 2 quick resources as we wrap up before we hit any potential questions. GoDaddyTrainingHub.com, place where this lives as well. You can get to this Hangout from there. And there's also other training about our products, online store, our website builder, and that will kind of get you sort of the basics and set up. After you get that kind of set up, the other one, garage.goya.com. It's our small business and web development designer blog. And on there, all the stuff that we talked about today, social media, Twitter. In fact, after this, I have to write a post about Twitter for people that hate Twitter. That's coming up. That's coming up this afternoon. It's actually a post about who to follow. So, depending on your business, who to follow on Twitter, who to watch. I'll be writing that stuff up as well. Mm-hmm. And so, most of the stuff that's on the garage is more consultative.
Lots of great e-commerce articles on there.
There's a ton of great e-commerce articles on there right now. Yeah, because Mary made us write them all, and we're afraid of her.
All for you.
Yeah. All right, cool. Colby, do we have any questions?
We've got a comment. Mr. Kev Red says, fantastic tips. Thanks for all your support. What is your favorite tip?
What's my favorite tip?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's a great question, huh? Okay, now I got to go back. Yonner's shaking his head like he knows what it's going to be.
Make it easy.
Make it easy. Oh, yeah, make it easy. Yeah.
Overarching, I think.
The overarching make it easy one.
Free shipping.
I think free shipping is probably it. I'm not kidding. Like that's
it's the lowest hanging fruit and the easiest thing you can do. You can set it and forget it, and your volume of units should go up.
Well, it's ridiculous when the shipping costs more than the actual product sometimes too.
Yeah.
Or even when you get within like $3, you're like, oh. And I get it. Shipping's expensive. Logistics suck. They just do. But figure out your cost of product, figure out your markups. I'm going to bet you that you can weave it in a little bit, and or if you do a little bit of diligence to figure out the extra volume that you get off your orders, you'll make more money. So you'll lose a little bit on the shipping, but you're just overall going to make more because you're selling more.
Because you're selling more. Now, unless you're shipping pianos, then I'll forgive you.
That's true.
Yeah, I'll pay a little extra to make that happen.
Then, like I was on Amazon and they have beds and they get free shipping for beds.
I know.
They're working it somehow. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like I think it's something important to consider when putting everything together. The other one that I like, and only because I'm a writer, probably is on the descriptions.
Okay.
Because it's a really easy way for you to stand out when you write just great. Remarkable's hard because I mean it by the strict definition of the word, right? Like able to remark. Like when somebody reads the description, they say, "Oh, you guys, you should see this. I can't believe he said this," or
right.
"I can't believe that this is what they're calling this," or something like that. But so there's kind of a balance between the two. You want the description to be exactly what it is for SEO purposes, for Google purposes. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not going to call my T-shirt, a short toga, right? Like because it won't work. Like nobody's going to search short toga unless my brand just explodes, and then it's totally amazing.
That could be your brand, though. Short toga.
It could short toga T-shirts.
Yeah. I bet that domain's available.
Short toga?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Shorttoga.club. Yeah. Now I'm picturing all sorts of wrong things to go with that. But yeah, that's my favorite. That's a great question.
And you can have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Any others that we got?
I don't think so. I'm just waiting for it to refresh here. 1 second. Your phone's got a question.
I know.
No, it looks like we're all good. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, okay. So, huge thanks, Colby, who puts all these together and keeps us on task and makes sure that I show up and places the camera in weird places in the room, which is even better.
Keep you aware,
I know. Right? I'm sure that I stared at the screen. Like, hi everybody. Oh, whoops. Hi everybody. Marketing Mary, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
For being here, and our peanut gallery, Yonner and Maxim in the corner. Thank you so much, and thanks to everybody else. Don't forget those 2 resources: GoDaddyTrainingHub.com and Garage.GoDaddy.com, and keep watching. Follow us on Facebook, Google+, and on Twitter, where we'll continually announce these upcoming webinars and all of the great articles that we're writing to help you guys be successful.
And since I'm here, I just have to
Yeah.
give my plug.
Oh, do it.
That GoDaddy online store is now launched to all markets. You
Yeah.
can find it on GoDaddy.com under the website's navigation. And we are offering a 1-month free trial on the product.
Oh, that's totally true. I
Yes,
forgot.
yes.
Oh.
So risk-free, guys. Give it a shot.
Yeah, it's listen, it's lovely. Like,
It is. It is.
yeah.
It's just so simple. If you've ever been on Etsy, I equate it to just how simple it is to plug and play and start selling.
Yeah, I helped somebody start. It didn't go live, but it was a store for selling hugs. It took us like an hour and a half to get something really, really beautiful up and running.
Nice.
Wait,
So,
like hugs?
yeah.
Hugs like
Yeah, selling.
Will, like meet you and hug you?
Yeah, yes, like meet you and hug you.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a guy that sold hot dogs here at
How's free
GoDaddy
shipping
once
work
upon
on
a
free
time.
hugs?
Yeah, well, it's always free shipping with free hugs.
COD.
Cash on delivery. Awesome, awesome. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and
Thank
we'll catch
you.
you next time.